Ready to embrace the magical side of life, where anything is possible and the infinite is accessible to all? Let's have a conscious conversation about what's going on in the world, in your life, and your relationship from the expanded perspective of your soul. The path to awareness begins and ends in the heart. So let's take it there, one step at a time, and learn to cultivate magic in your life every single day. In each episode, we share a collective space in which we discover the unique facets of our own magic and embody our superhuman qualities by humbly exploring how it's super simply to be human. Hosts Kai and Dell co-create a magical experience to remind you that you are magical as fuck. Now, be unleashed. This is our daily magic.
And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Our Daily Magic. What this is about, and if you listen to the intro, is you are magical as fuck. And what we like to do is have magical conversations with magical beings who get to showcase their magic, but also help you to show for you to have the possibility as well of integrating more magic into your life. So I am one half of the host, Dell, and this is...
I am Kai, and I have the honor and pleasure of introducing our amazing guest today, John Pogachar. John was persistently doing the inner work, and a question emerged. Wouldn't it be amazing to buy a billboard without it needing to sell or promote anything except for love? The idea quickly gained momentum and multiplied from one billboard to 5 all around Spokane, Washington, and is now opening to a worldwide audience to join in the vision of having messages of truth all around us. And this ain't all that John Pogachar does. We're going to get into the rest as we continue the conversation.
Yeah, and to give some context for Pogachar as well, is we have all met through a magical community that we're a part of called the Absolute Everything Pass. And in there, my wife Kai met John through her first Kai Lego. I met John as well. We did a Kai Lego once after that. But this guy is such a powerful force of love and so much wisdom. If you go on his YouTube under his name, he has so much wisdom to share. But then also what I love is him integrating nature in such a beautiful way. So grab your popcorn, grab your seat. If you got to use the bathroom, take this with you in there because you don't want to miss this conversation. It's going to be a powerful one that is going to really help you to shift your beingness because this is what this guy does on a natural day. So, ladies and gentlemen, John Pogachar.
Kai and Dell, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Just so good. It brings tears to my eyes. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, like Kai mentioned, there's more to your story than just what we had for the description that she did. So I would love to open this up and allow you the space of sharing your journey and what led you to actually integrating the magic that you are right now.
Well, I go back several years to when the election between Hillary and Trump was going on. It was probably about a year before that. And I'm sitting in my kitchen and I'm, reading through social media, and I'm seeing all this hate and all this negativity from one group. I want Trump, I want Hillary, and all that back and forth. And then there was this news about somebody said this or somebody said that. So there was all this fake news that was going around, and I totally reeled around in my chair, and I just yelled out into the world, "Where is all the love in the world? Where is it?" And um, and as I came back to my screen, Kyle Cease's face was right on my Facebook page, and I going, "I don't know who the hell you are, but I yelled out, and somebody must be listening." And so, it was a video because there was a little diamond on his face. So I punched on that video, and he started talking about everything, and it just so connected me to what he was doing. And I just loved what he was saying. I go, maybe this is something that I could, latch onto. So he said he was going to do um, an event at the Alex Theater in Glendale, California. And the event was, it was October, and the event wasn't until February. So I just clicked on it. I bought the event. It was only like $99. So I said, bought that. And then the next day I jumped out of bed. I go, you buy the airplane ticket right now and get the hotel right now, because if you wait any longer, you will definitely talk yourself out of this leap that you're going to make. And I'm so glad I, at that time, had enough foresight and enough awareness about myself, what I would have done. And that is, if I would have waited longer, I go, yeah, I'm not going to do this. But I jumped into it. I bought that airplane ticket. I bought my hotel room. And then I set out to find out everything I could about this Kyle guy. And was just overwhelmed and just fell in love with this idea, and shortly realizing that if I wanted love in my life, that was have to come through me. It was not going to come through me finding a partner, not going to come from finding I'll buy a new car, or I'll buy some new clothes or some new shoes. It would had to come through me. Going, and I can remember going to that first event that I did. I sat down, and the woman on one side of me said she was an angel, and the other woman on the other side of me said she was a witch. And I'm going, what the hell did I get myself involved in right now? This transformational guru is going to be on stage pretty soon, and I don't know what I am doing. And so I know my ego is just going off all over the place. But I sat there and I listened, and I had such a great time and made some great friends and stuff. And then I just continued this inner work, this inner search, and signed up for another event that Kyle did. And so, I just continued with this, and I'm just so glad I did. I'm so glad I didn't go, oh, this things that were trying to my ego. What was I wasn't listening to the ego. It was like, I want to go move into this next thing. And so, yeah, I think just following that, doing the meditation, not doing meditation, going, well, why doesn't this, can I just know something? Can I just know something like book wise and not do the work, and finding out, no, you're going to fall flat on your face. And I did several times, fell flat on my face, going, and I can remember going back to another thing and going up to Kyle. I go, something's not working. This is not working. And
Can you tell us about one of those times?
Well, I can remember just, not doing the meditation and coming home and just in tears, like, why isn't anything showing up in my life? Why aren't I getting the inspired idea? Why isn't this going, No, I continued to look in my bank account and saw it going down, down, down. And I was retired at the time. I was just falling down, down, down. It's like, this whole idea about, meditation, this whole idea about, inspired action or inspired things. I I wasn't feeling anything. It's like, what? I do know you're supposed to go meditate, but I wasn't meditating. So the next event, like I said, I went up to him and I said, dude, what is going on? I'm doing this. I know meditation is a great thing. He goes, are you meditating? And I go, no, I'm not. He goes, pointed me to to the next person in line. He goes, go meditate. That's all he said to me. Just go meditate, get out of your head. So I went home with that idea. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go meditate. And then signed up for another thing that he did. And I was like, one time, and then he offered this. He moved to a larger theater. It was the Dolby Theater he moved to,
yeah.
and he offered a coaching program that he was going to do with 50 people, and he was going to do it for 100 hours, 100 days, and see what comes out of that. And out of that coaching program, out of sitting in Sequoia National Park, because he challenged me to go camping for a couple of weeks, out of so many tears, out of all this stuff that was coming up, I go, how can I put love out in the world in a bigger way? And it came to me, put it on a billboard. But that idea was so scary for me at that time. It took me a month and a half before I finally said, okay, I'll do it. And I do it. It showed up on people's shirts. It showed up in display windows, and it finally showed up on a wharf in Canada. I was there visiting a friend, supporting her program. And there was a red rock, and I caught my eye, and I walked over to that pylon that had that rock on there, and it said love. And I go, oh my God. And so I looked up in the sky. I says, I'll do it. I'll put my ID out there, and we'll just see what happens. So I went back to Spokane, got with a friend. We took 10 minutes to come up with what we wanted it to look like. I said, Nick wanted to take that home and work on it. I go, no, this is perfect. It's red, it's white, it's bold. It's going to jump off the billboard. People are going to be driving past it, and then it's just going to shout at them. And so we put love on a billboard. Yeah, I put love on a billboard. Then Kyle showed up and said, what's everybody talking about this billboard thing you're doing? And then he loved the idea, and he bought a billboard. And so here you go. You've got this, you're manifesting something. I didn't even really know what the manifestation was, but it was manifesting. And then people showed up and wanted to help with it. By the end of the conversation, Kyle bought 3 billboards. And so we had 4 billboards in Spokane. And other people wanted to contribute it to the billboard. And I didn't have a website. He goes, how are you going to receive any money, John? You need to have a website. Well, I stayed up with a friend, actually the lady in Canada. We stayed up and we tried to work on this website, what it would happen. And, it wasn't coming to either of us. I went to bed. She stayed up till 2:00 in the morning. I said, I need some sleep. I said, we'll work on it in the morning. It's no big deal. We got up to the next call. One of Kyle's assistants had the website already done. She named it. Here you go. Love on every billboard. And she handed it over to me. She goes, use it if you want and don't. But she goes, it does have a donate button on it. And you can get money. So people started pouring money into it. It's like, oh my gosh, I manifested this idea of putting a billboard up. I bought it. I stepped into it. Other people showed up and wanted to do it. Other people showed up and wanted to talk about it. The news showed up. The newspapers showed up to do this. A woman from California who was also on our call said, I will write your press releases because you're going to need them. She showed up and she just did it. Another gentleman whose name is Stoss, he drove from California up to Seattle, grabbed a buddy of his, came over to Spokane and said, I want to film these going up. And so that's what he did too. So it was pretty crazy. All of a sudden, just, this whole thing just started to spin out, to spin. And I get chills about it every time I talk about it. In fact, I am in my whole body right now. It's like, how powerful was that? And how you putting out your idea happened just because you got involved in that, and then other people showed up and wanted to do it too. And I'm sure that has happened in your lives too, where you just like, even you guys coming together and being a couple was like, I want somebody in my life, and then all of a sudden a person shows up, and you go, wow, this is so crazy, so inspiring, so loving. And so it's like, now you have a family, now you're together, and you have a home together, and you have a podcast together, and you talk to people. It's like, wow, amazing, so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Very magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me what another person as well, Steve Hardison, when he talks about it. He actually has a video when he talked about it, which is like a video that went out there about commitment. And he was saying how commitment rocks worlds. But once you actually are committed to something or creating something, it's like the universe, you become a vortex. And all these things come together, all these different places, people, events, all to help you actually to create this. It's like you're backed by the universe because you're actually are committed to doing something beyond yourself as well. Not like a selfish commitment to something, but it's like a universal one, which allowed the universe to help you. Like this love billboard, you got universally committed to creating this, and then all the pieces that came together for this, with you actually making that decision. You say you sat with it for a month or so, but then you finally got committed to make that decision, and then boom, all these different things beyond our mind.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, people showed up from around the world that wanted to do this too.
Mm-hmm.
People in New Zealand, and I have to give, the AEP community, credit for that, because people in New England, people in not New England, New Zealand, people in Great Britain, the Ukraine, Russia, Canada, all showed up, to also put billboards up in their countries. It just blew me away. When I first put the first one up, I'm thinking social experiment. It's going to go in Spokane, and maybe, and that's as far as it's going to go. But it blew up, like you said, the universe grabbed hold of that and just said, okay, we're going to make this worldwide.
Yeah.
I just get chills.
It makes me wonder. And this is just me being a curious cat. It's like this idea that you had of getting it done. I wonder how many other people were thinking like something similar to this, doing it, but they just didn't have the courage to do it. But then with you having the courage of actually doing this, those people was like, yes, like it's finally here. So then everybody backed you because there was something like in this collective field that and potentiality, this collective field that came to fruition through you, that you actually created this, and it's birthed, and now it's like, oh wow, this is amazing, let's do it together.
Yeah. I think I had actually thought about that whole idea too. It's like, put your idea out there, because this idea is floating around in the world, in the universe, and if you don't, somebody else is going to too. So just step into it and just go ahead and do it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm curious as well, because I saw this video that you posted. It was about a couple years ago, in which you just got rid of everything.
Yep. Yeah, I got rid of everything, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go jump in my car and go exploring. So I dumped everything out of my car, sold everything off. I put some stuff in a storage center, then ended up going back to the storage center and going, I need to clear this out of there too. So I did that. But everything I have in my car. Right now I'm staying with my sister in Big Fork, Montana. But I drove across the United States, stuck my feet in the Atlantic Ocean, met some really super neat people through Kyle's program along the way, got invited to Canada for Thanksgiving, and just played. Their Thanksgiving is in October, so it's like a score. I get to have two of them, one in October, one in November. I love turkey, and so it's like, yes, score. So, but life has been so much fun, and there are times when it's like, oh, I wish I had a home again, just so I can, not be traveling all around, but you have to figure out your home is right where you are all the time. It's right where your heart is all the time. And so people, and I've seen more and more people wanting to do this van life, wanting just to take off and explore the United States, and wanting to go, hey, I think in my world I can make money on the road. In my world, I can coach on the road. I can be a presence and not have to worry about making a house payment or making an apartment payment. Like I can live out of my car and have a tent, and I can do whatever, stop at an Airbnb if I want, or a hotel, and just like I can do this. So
this is amazing. So
it's kind of crazy.
What actually led to that decision to do this? Like, I'm getting rid of all this. I'm going to travel the world. And
well, I think through AAP, I think through some of Kyle's stuff was like, life can be really heavy, and can this stuff be so heavy that that it bogs you down, and I think once I found out that, hey, I could live out of my car, I could do this stuff, I could not have to pay into that, and yeah, and like I said, I'd seen my my 401k, because I retired from, Nordstrom, but I saw that going down further and further. It's like I'm paying into something, my apartment, but am I really happy with where I was? And I'm finding out I wasn't happy where I was. It's like, can I go find, or can I go be happy somewhere else? Can I just be with myself and be happy? I think that was the biggest thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I travel and be happy? Can I stay with friends and be happy? Yeah.
What'd you do at Nordstrom?
I worked at I worked in their loss prevention department for a while. I was also I was their receiving manager for a while. I sold shoes. I did a lot of different things. Wore a lot of different hats.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are the John of all hats.
I think one of my favorite things was loss prevention. And it was just, and for me, I got to be an adrenaline junkie. I really did, because it was like that when was the next person I was going to arrest? What was I going to find out in the store that somebody was stealing from the store? So it's like that next fix. It was just like, I need to shoot up. I need to go catch somebody, to get this adrenaline, because that is such a high to be, that far from somebody that is stealing something. It's like, oh my God. It was just a high. But like I said, I got to be, and I could feel it, like, oh my gosh, I haven't caught anybody for a week. It's like, I need to go catch somebody, because I need that. I need that high. It's like, it was crazy. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Paul Blart?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you know the actor Kevin James?
Yes.
So the movie Paul Blart was him being a security guy.
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Paul Blart Mall Cop. Okay. But with him doing that, because he became the mall cop, he trained to be a police officer. He went for like the whatever it is you got to do to pass the test to pass to become police officer, and he failed it. But then he still had these aspirations of being a cop, so he embodied the cop role as a mall cop. So he would have different things, but then like he was like going around like investigation, like catching people, but really being like a cop. Like he would fake like he had a gun, like behind him. He's like, ma'am, like that. But like the scene that was pretty cool, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, yo, it'd be really cool to like just catch people like that. And like I was like inches away of potentially becoming a mall cop, just to be able to do some stuff like that. But you got that point right there, that adrenaline, that rush that happens in certain moments like that. And it reminded me of skydiving. I went skydiving multiple times for that adrenaline of like, oh my God, like my heart is pumping type of excitement. So I hear where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. And just for you and I both saying that, because you got it from skydiving. I also skydived, so that was really cool. But I'm just wondering, can we bring that into our life all the time, where there's that excitement, there's that waking up and appreciating for I get to have a next breath, and for that excitement just to be there, in our lives.
Yeah. Well, that's the question. Can we?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's available. I truly do. I truly do. I don't know if it's that severe, or it's like that inspiration that's going to pull us forward. That's going to allow us to write books. That's going to allow us to put a billboard up. That's going to allow us to. I need to find out about this belt on your shoulder too. So that's allow us to do something like that, to allow you guys to have this beautiful marriage in this podcast. What is it that we pull ourselves forward, that gives us excitement every day?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That excitement, like you're talking about. And this is how I see it. It comes from within us. So obviously those things, those stimulants, it helps to bring forth what is already within us. But then you say like those actions, like creating the book that you did, doing the billboard. I'm sure there was some adrenaline that popped up in that as well. That was similar to the loss prevention that you mentioned, the skydiving. But like, do you feel like when you did those things, like creating the book, doing the billboard, that was like a permeating adrenaline that just kept going, the excitement, and it's kept on expanding and expanding, as opposed to the loss prevention? It's like a moment. It's like, okay, I got to do this again. I got to get another one. I got to get another one.
I don't know. I think it's something that's within you. That's, that all of a sudden, hey, those feelings that I have doing that, birthing those things, it's like really fun. And I think we come to a point where, and I'm seeing this more and more, especially as I've, birthed this book I did, and then another one is coming after that. But it's like we can always be creating. We can always be doing something more in our lives, and it can be simply, as I love to doodle, so I'll sit and have coffee at a coffee shop, and I'll just start to doodle, and it's like, wow, what's coming up today? What's coming out? Will it be a flower? The other day it was a lion. It's coming. A horse is coming out. So it's like these things we can create, and I think I call the ABC, always be creating. We are creating people out there. God is constantly expanding the universe, and it's constantly flowing through us. We can always be creating. We can always be doing something. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's so funny, the ABC thing, because I thought about a couple of terms, like one, like in the sales, they say always be closing, the ABC. And they had this other one, the ABC one, that has always be coaching, because it's not just with a client, you can be able to serve at all times. But I love this one. I never heard it in the way you just said. It's always be creating. You need to make that a shirt. Or something.
Or a billboard.
Or a billboard. Oh, but the billboard already is showing it, isn't it? It's already showing it. Love. Always be creating.
Yeah. It's so true, though. I mean, we are always creating, and, we create the food, we create a podcast, we create, chairs in our, people have always been creating throughout the world. And so, and we create a conversation, we create, an appointment with somebody, we create, my chiropractic appointment yesterday was created. And so we're always creating. So are we going to do it intentionally, or we're going to have just the world just create things for us? And some of that is great. But if we can find out, if we can be quiet and sit still and just let some inspired ideas come into us, we can create some really cool shit,
Did you just say create some really cool shift?
Yeah.
Shit.
I said shit.
Okay. I said, yeah. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah, both.
Yeah. And speak about creating some pretty cool shit. Tell us about the book that you created and the story that got behind that. We heard about the amazing billboards that you created. Oh, it's like it manifested in here.
So there it is. There it is. It's called Mom and Dad, 10 Things I Want You to Know by the Time I'm 1 week old. And this book came about when I found out I was going to be a grandfather. And so I was sitting with my son-in-law and my daughter, and they were opening up their shower gifts that they had gotten. And a shower gift that they got was a gift from a woman whose grandfather had actually written a story about one of the children in the family. And I piped up and I go, I mean, I had been going through the transformation stuff. I had been putting my ideas out there. I've been going, I could write a book for you guys for your new baby. I could do that. And they both looked at me like, yeah, whatever, Dad. Just keep dreaming. So, but I went to bed that night, put paper and pen on my nightstand, and looked up and said, if an idea comes to me, let me jump out of bed at that time, not wait till 7 o'clock when my alarm's going to go off, but let me jump out of bed right then. Sure enough, at 1 o'clock, this inspired idea came to me. The Mom and Dad, 10 things I want you to know by the time I'm 1 week old. I jumped out of bed. I said, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm jumping out of bed right now. And I started to write, and I wrote and I wrote and wrote. And I dumped everything out of my head that I could think of to put down here. And then I said, are we done? Yeah, we're done for right now. So, and then I did wake up at 7 o'clock that next morning and showered and dressed and went to Starbucks, grabbed some coffee, sat at a table, and just started to write the rest of the book out. And then it all just, as I put the pen to paper, it all just came out. And so, and then I made, yeah, I just put it to pen to paper and I just did that. And so I wrote that book and then I showed it to them and they just kind of like, they said this and my kids said this and that about it. And then I go, okay, I'm going to get this published somehow. I don't know how I was going to do that. And, but we just made it happen. I started to, it came so fast and I thought, oh, I know somebody who does drawings, who does paintings. And I think watercolors would look really good in this. So, and then we had a conversation and said, yeah, let's do this. And we'll, split the proceeds on it. If we sell any, we'll just do that. And then after 6 months, after checking with her several times over a 6-month period, I just found out that she just, wasn't committed to it. And she was busy doing her own stuff. So I said, fine, I think what I need to do is I need to take this away from you. And we both agreed that was fine. She had come up with one idea. I said, you go ahead and you can keep your idea, that's fine. But I just feel like I need to take this away. So I think it was a relief off both of us, just to say it's okay. And then a couple of people said, why don't you do your own drawings, your own sketches and do that? And I tell you, and when we were talking about that, a lady contacted me and wanted to know if I needed a publisher for my book. And so she goes, maybe I would be able to, put you in contact with the lady that I'm using or the lady that's helping me. And so I said, okay. She goes, she generally works just with women, but, there's an opportunity maybe. So I went out and started drawing up my own drawings. I went page by page in my book. And as from each page, I drew what I wanted it to be, what I thought it was going to be like. And then as soon as I was done with the drawings, that lady contacted me again. She goes, my publisher would like to talk with you. Would you like to do that? I said, yes. It's so crazy that as soon as I finish my drawings, the publisher wants to talk to me. So it's so serendipitous that people started to show up just when this would happen. So we got on the phone and we did a Zoom call with this woman. Her name is Kate Butler. And she said, so in the conversation kind of waned and I go, okay, so what's my next step? And she goes, all you have to do is ask. And I said, would you like to publish this? She goes, I love the book. We would love to publish it for you. So we did. And then her illustrator helped, like I said, brought some color to the photographs and some different ideas. And she brought, she just took my ideas and sketched them together. Or she took this, I'll show you one picture, it's really cool. Yeah, I think it was this one. Where I had these pictures But they were like, you know, one here, one here, one here, one here. They were all around the outside. And then she took that idea, and like a kaleidoscope, she just brought everything together all in one picture. So I go, that was amazing. You took everything I wanted, all those ideas that I had, and you just brought them all together and made it one picture. So yeah.
If there's
I love it.
one quote that you can pick from that book that is like the most impactful, like to you, like what would it be? Because what you just shared was phenomenal.
The story of the creation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and I didn't even know he drew.
Yeah.
It's fun, you know, but it's nothing. You know, I drew, but it's like, you know, characters or things I did when I was a little kid. I mean, this house is not probably going to stand up, you know, if it was in real life, you know, but it's just a fun house that I remember drawing a million times when I was a little kid. You know,
look at this. This is the I could get shown. This is the house that I drew just to
play around. So we probably had the same art teacher, Dell. But you know, I think some of the fun things out here was just like you know, one of the is meditation that I just love. But I think um a little kid just wants to be loved. He just wants to be loved, and this makes me tear up. But you know, if you're not present with that little kid, if you're on your cell phone, you're missing out so much by not being present. And I think that's one of the biggest things I've gotten in this whole transformational thing from Kyle, from Abraham Hicks, from everybody else, Michael Singer, and is you need to be present in your life, because if you're not, you miss. I would have missed the robin that landed on the chair outside my window the other day, that I wouldn't have got to see, just the intricacies. I would have missed going out this morning and petting the golden retriever that just showed up with its owner and said, you know, and he tied her up outside the coffee shop. I said, "Can I go pet your dog?" He goes, "She would love it." So if you're not being present with yourself, with your spouse, with your children, with just yourself out in nature, you would miss everything. So I think that's one of the biggest things from the book, is just being present. And how much more can you bring to a child? And how many, you know, we think a child is born, and so we're in charge of that child, and we've got to give all of its gifts to us. But I tell you, the book is about a child telling mom and dad, "This is what I need from you. This is what I can tell you about what's going to be good for you and for our family." And if we can listen to the children, that is so powerful. If we can just go, "What do you want?" And they can tell us. My grandson is sitting in a mud puddle in Seattle, Washington, with his snowsuit on, and he couldn't talk at 13 months, couldn't talk. But I got that picture, and I just could hear the words coming through that. It was like, "Grandpa, life's going to get messy, so just jump in the water and play." So the book is dedicated to Finley. I just love him to death. And yeah.
Oh, look at how amazing, from this an idea that you had to provide a service for your grandchild has expanded to this pretty much an amazing manual for helping these new parents, or maybe parents who have kids already, to be able to build that relationship with that child. And the thing that really struck me, what you said, is allowing that kid to decide what they want and not put on what we feel that kid should want. We determine what's best for our child, what our child needs to do, how our child needs to be, what our child needs to believe, which is something that a lot of us as adults experience in our own childhood, and carry that on as the tradition moving forward for the future generations. This book right here, and that's the way that I was seeing it when I was reading it, this is a shifter, a generational shifter, to help parents to consciously parent their children from a young age and set that foundation that's going to allow the child to actually step into their divine purpose, for whatever their purpose is for being here. But the thing I love what you put in the beginning as well is when you said, "Dear mom and dad, out of all the parents out there, I chose you." Wow. Whoa, talk about tears. Oh, wow. It's like an honor. And it's so true. Like the the soul of that beautiful baby in front of you could have decided to come into this earth body and all these different bodies out there. It decided to come into this one so that way you can parent them.
Mm-hmm.
It's monumental.
And they can parent you too.
Oh yeah.
If you will listen, if you would just listen. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Children are the best teacher to help us to like not be so serious about life.
Yeah. Can we play more? Do we have to eat that canned spinach? I'm looking at that as my came from my life. It's like canned spinach, that's horrible stuff. Can we buy fresh? It would be so much better.
I used to eat the spinach because I love Popeye. So I was like, oh, if I eat it, we'll get the muscles like Popeye. But then I eat it. I'm like, wait, the jolts are not happening. False advertisement, man.
Yeah. Too funny.
Yeah. It's like, how many of us experience that of do this because I told you to do it.
Oh.
Don't ask any questions.
Yep.
This is how you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we grow up and we realize that wasn't true.
Yeah.
There are infinite ways of doing things. And what can happen, it happened with me, was especially in the spiritual awakening path, was having some resentment towards my parents because like, you taught me this stuff and it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So rebellion child that got upset about it.
Or always perceiving that what is being told to you is that you're doing something wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you need to be doing better. You need to be doing it my way. Let me show you the way to do it. It will be good for you, And then finding out there's lots of ways, like Dell said, there's lots of ways to go. To go to the grocery store, you can turn left or right. It doesn't matter which way you go. Just go. So, yeah.
Can drive, can walk, can ride a bike, can Uber.
Uber.
Yeah.
Can order online.
You can
have delivered to
order
you.
online. Yeah. So, life is fun. I think when we allow more of it to come to us, it gets even more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how can someone who wants to do that, they want to allow more fun into their life and allow life to flow to them in that type of way, what would you recommend for that person, like initial starting point for them to actually start off with that?
I think, it's something that I've fought forever, but it's to meditate. And I think you guys know that too. It's just take 5 minutes and just to meditate. Find out that your body can sit for 5 minutes and meditate, and then start increasing that, and then find out when you can get this mental chatter just to be quiet, what things can come to you. And if something doesn't come to you right away, that's okay. Because I have no judgment about it. It's to realize this is still working. This is working. This is working. We go out, we forget how long it took us how to walk. There was a lot of that, standing up on the chair or standing up against the couch and pulling yourselves up there, making those muscles stronger. And then maybe looking out to dad and just like, I'm going to start to do this, but you then fall over, or we forget how long it took us to, shoot that 3-point shot, how long it took Michael Jordan to realize I am so good, but it took practice and practice and practice. And Kyle mentioned something at the event over the weekend. He goes, he said the sustaining income is not going to come overnight, unless like you win the lottery or something, but that sustaining income comes over a period of time. And it's like, and I had, there were so many tears that I have had or like, I wanted to manifest, I want to happen now. It's like things don't always happen right now. Some things do. Sometimes, you can manifest something. Like I wanted to manifest a car. And it's like, when I finally said, I don't want, or this car that I have is no longer serving me, I need something to be able to travel with. That it just showed up. I went to the dealership. There was an SUV sitting there. A friend of mine came out and said, how can I help you today? I said, I need a new car. And he goes, are you really going to get rid of that Camaro, John? And I go, yeah, I'm getting rid of the Camaro. I need something that's going to take me, different places. And so he worked up a deal and he goes, do you want a blue or red one? And I said, no, this white one is parked right here already. So let's make it simple. So yeah, I just took that. But manifestations can come really fast and other ones can take a little bit of time. But yeah, watch them come into your life. And I said, sit back and just think about all the things that you manifested and go, how did that happen? What made that easier to come? And I think that for the car thing, it was just finally realizing that the one I had wasn't serving me anymore. And so just allow a new one to come into my life. And so it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everything in life is a manifestation. Oh
no.
He's gone.
We lost John.
We will wait for him to come back.
What were you going to ask? I mean, what were you going to say anyway?
I was going to ask, do you feel like everything in life that we bring into our life is a manifestation?
Yeah, we are. Manifestation.
Yeah. It's just are we aware of the different manifestations happening? So let's say like something in our life happens that actually allows us to expand deeper within ourselves. It may go through some like temporary pain or suffering, but then we may feel like we didn't manifest it. Oh, what is this doing here? When it really is here to actually help you to deepen that relationship with yourself or expand yourself as well to the truest version of yourself.
Mm-hmm. There he is. Yay!
Yay! I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it's just like Dell was talking, and then I was gone. So
yeah. So I asked the question. I was asking, do you feel that everything in our life is a manifestation?
Yeah, I do. I truly think that everything is in our life is a manifestation of something, of what we want and also what we don't want. And where are you going to put that focus? You're going to put it through something that, hey, I want this in my life, or I don't want it in my life. And all of a sudden, you keep focusing on what things you don't want in your life, that shows up too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I like what Neale Donald Walsch said in regards to that. He's a guy, he wrote a book called Conversation with God.
Yes.
And he said, pretty much whenever you want something, the things that are the opposite are going to show up.
Yep. Yeah, I think Abraham Hicks would say, there's always two ends of a stick, what you want and what you don't want. And, but, and then I add that to, Michael Beckwith would always say the universe is always for us. So when I look at, let's say, love and anger, or love and hate, both opposite sides of the stick, and I go, okay, but what is that? What is hate? Hate's there to point us towards love. I think even those things that we perceive are not good for us are pointing us toward what we want, and that is just love in this world, and not the hate. But the hate points us toward, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it's like lack and abundance, two sides of us, one on each side of a stick. And it's like, what does the lack point you towards? It points you towards the abundance, something that you want more into your life, But it surely can go back the other way. If you focus on that lack, it's like, my bank account keeps going down and going down. It's like, you keep focusing on the lack of it. Instead, like, what's the potential for this? What's the potential?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the possibilities that could come into your life. If you start focus on the possibilities instead of quit looking at your bank account, just watch What are the possibilities? Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the possibilities for you? You've done so much. It's like, well, what the heck else could you possibly do?
Well, this next book, and then about Mom and Dad, 10 Things I Want You to Know About Nature. I started scribbling one down yesterday. It was going to be 10, Mom and Dad, 10 Things I Want You to Be Aware of. I want you to be aware of these things that are possible in your life. And it talks about, just about different elements of awareness. What I guess I want to do is get this little kid to hijack as many parents into this idea of awareness, and let's shift the world that way. And maybe if it's coming from this little kid that parents think, oh, they don't know very much, but he's trying to tell us some things. He's trying to hijack us into this idea, and make us more aware. So, yeah.
I feel like it's the chicken noodle soup for conscious parenting.
It very well could be that. I like that idea. I like that idea, Dell. Yeah. Yeah. I love that idea. So, yeah.
I'm telling you, this book right here, and anyone who's listening as well, if you know anyone that is about to bring a newborn baby into the world, this book right here is a must-have to actually allow the parent to consciously parent this child and to set the space to allow this child to create the life that's best suited for them. Highly recommend it. If there's someone you know that's pregnant, that's about to give birth, give this book. I was just talking to Pogachar earlier before the show started. Like, I actually know one person that's actually about to have a kid, and I'm going to get this book to him as a gift.
Where can people get it, John?
You can get it on Amazon. Just go under my name or go under the title, Mom and Dad, 10 Things I Want You to Know by the time I'm 1 week old, and you can purchase on Amazon. And I've had, once again, friends from Belgium and Australia and Denmark and France, buy this book, through Amazon, the Amazon that's in their country. So it's kind of fun to go. Once again, my ideas are all over the world. And everybody can have that. Everybody can do that, because they put themselves out there.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's a way to have this book available for, like where babies are born, hospitals and stuff. Like having it as a gift.
I think this is a great idea, and I have sent out 50 books, all on me, to different hospitals throughout the United States right now. So I love that idea, and I have done that. I'm just waiting to hear back from them, just to see what. And I've sent it to not only the hospitals, but to midwives too, because I think that's a great place also that this book could show up, and be that gift to the parents. It's like baby swag on your way out the door. This is something that's going to introduce you to, what the child, is hoping for. So.
What idea came to mind while I was just thinking about this, because of just who you used to work with or before with the other podcast. What about at-home doulas for giving that to their clients?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That sounds cool.
It does, right?
Yeah. So, there's a lot of possibilities for it. I, put it in, I have put it in two libraries now. So that's pretty cool. Some gift shops that just have to do with children. There's a couple of bookstores that I've able to squeeze it into. So, yeah.
Wow.
Just keep putting it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Yeah. All right. I have to, before this is over, I have to know about the belt. So.
Okay. This is a manifestation. So, what was it, 2 years ago? And this is like right around the time with my father's transition. And that's actually around the time where I joined AEP. And I said, and this is when Kai brought me on the show on a Wednesday call. And I said, I don't know what's going to happen from this, but I know this is about to be one of the deepest healings and transformations I'm about to go through, and I'm willing to go through wherever I need to go through for this.
Yeah.
So then what happened was in this healing portion for myself, it brought me back to these memories I had with my dad, bonding moments. And one of the bonding moments was wrestling. I used to watch wrestling with him as a kid, go back and forth and really like talk about it all the time. And we even was talking about it before his transition, talk about wrestling and stuff. But what happened was when I was 10 years old, I wanted to get this belt right here because I saw it on TV and they had it for sale, and it would cost like hundreds of dollars at that time, a lot. So I asked my parents for it. It's like, no, it costs too much. It's too much money. And that kid version of me seen it in a different perception in which I was holding on to resentment from that moment of that happening. So I healed that part of me that felt that resentment based upon this moment. And I asked myself, the inner child in that moment, like, do you still want that belt? And it's like, yeah, I still want that belt. Like, okay, it's totally possible now. Like, pretty much, I totally possible myself in that. Like, yeah, it's totally possible I get that belt. Yeah, because I'm older now. I have money. I have resources. It all can be done now. So I let it go in the space of like, I can get this belt now. And also the forgiveness for my father and that forgiveness I was created for that. So I had this intuitive nudge, and the nudge told me, hey, go on Facebook and look for groups that have championship belts, that create championship belts. I did it. I found this group, and this group was actually having a contest for someone to win a championship belt. They was having a drawing that same day. It cost like $3 for entry with it. I took 3 entries with it, but I was like, I'm about to win this belt. That's all I said. I didn't like put any limiting beliefs like, oh, am I worthy of it? No, I was like, I'm winning this belt. Put myself in the contest, let it go, went throughout my day. I did Joey's breath work that same day. And then later on, I got the notifications on my phone blowing up. They said, congratulations, you won the belt. What type of belt do you want? I'm like, okay, cool. I won. Nice. So I was like, I want a custom belt. I want this belt. I got my name on it right here. But then I said, can I get my coaching logo in it as well, which I have right here? And now it's only for extra couple bucks. This belt was valued. They were selling it. It would have been like $400 or $500 for this thing. But for me, I got it for about like, it was like $40, $50. But what I realized was, and as I talk about it more, and I shared this in other stories, was this was a manifestation of co-creation, but also simultaneously, my dad gave me the belt. So yeah, so this helps me of having this belt around me. It's like the bond that helps me remind me of my father's and I bond that we have with each other and stuff like that. But also, I love this belt. It shows like what is possible when you actually let go of the energies telling you that you can't do something or can't create something. Oh, you muted.
Once again, the energies that says you can't do something, and it's pointing you right towards, oh, bullshit, I can do something if I want to.
Yeah.
If I want it. It's telling you those things that hold us back, that we perceive as holding us back, are pointing us towards. It's like a one-way sign that's pointing you what's on the other side of the stick.
Yeah.
You know, what is there that we're missing? So it's a gift.
Yeah. And it just shows that once we step beyond that, those limitations that tells us, it keeps us in that box, like, oh, this is what it is. No, you can't do that idea because no one else did it, or whatever it may be, the excuses that show up. When we actually get beyond that and create, things just happen.
Right.
Miracles go down.
Yeah, it's like drawing that line in the sand saying, no, I can do whatever I want. You know, I'm not here to live, you know, this lesser place that I grew up in. I can go and do whatever I want.
Yeah. That's a powerful closing message right there. But we're going to allow a space because we are at the top of the hour for this.
Okay.
But
great.
Before we go, what is one message you would like to share to anyone who's listening to this? But then also, where can people find you?
They can find me on Love on Every Billboard. If they want to put up a billboard, we're still doing that, so you can go to loveoneverybillboard.com and find me there. You can send me a message there. You can do jpogashar@aol.com and send me a message to my personal email. You can, find me through the book on Amazon. Yeah. And I think one thing is just like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. This world needs everybody. It needs Dell, it needs Kaya, it needs John, it needs, Frank and George and Mary and Teresa. It needs all those people, so don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because we're all like your daily magic is saying we're all magical, and we all have that ability to be so much more than what we are. So yeah.
Yes. Amen, brother.
You guys, I love you. I love you guys so much, and thanks for having me on this show. It's been so much fun. So much fun.
Love you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was amazing, conscious shift in conversation, and thank you for being you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So everyone who is listening, we will see you next time, and
stay magical.